Hi, it's Ronnie, and welcome to Scrappy Kathy's 2,000 subscriber hop. And it's also a Punched Out Thursday to die for, where we'll all be using our punches and or our dies. And here's the layout of Kathy's that I chose to scrap lift. I started out pretty good, but then I had to go rogue. It wasn't any other option. I did have two pictures instead of one, though. I will not be using any of those words, although I had it planned. I just couldn't figure out where I could put it. I just had too much pulled. I'm going to use those two alphas for my title. And then I have a bunch of fussy cut stuff. And yeah, I don't even know what all. I fussy cut it all a long time ago. And then I've got this journaling pad. I can't remember if I end up using that or not. And Smells Never Grow Up. And I went ahead and started this part because that red thing in the middle, it wasn't long enough, but I knew I could put the pictures over it. And that is my youngest grandson there. And I thought Never Grow Up would be a great collection to use with those pictures. Now, you can't hardly tell it in the photos, but there is a Minion on his shirt, and he is showing me a rock. He come running and hollering, "Mama, Mama, look what I found." Well, he passed his mommy right up. You can see her in the photos barely, and came straight to me to show me what he found. I took that smaller punch, which is half-inch punch, and then I punched it twice. Then I punched the 3/4 inch punch over the top of it so it'd have some rings. And then I went ahead and punched the white in the 1/2 inch. And so I'm making goggles here and eyeballs too. But I started just cut a straight piece of that gray for his goggles. However, I noticed under that circle that it was the best shape ever to put between the eyes, so I used it instead because it does have a natural curve in there for me using the punch. And I do have a little black strip of paper to use for the straps that goes around his head. Yeah, instead of them just being glasses, they look more like goggles to me. And looking at the Minions on the internet, they all look like they have brown eyes just about. I think I might have seen one with blue eyes once, but I'm using brown, and I'll decide at the last second to ink those circles. Oh, I started out to use a 1/3 inch punch thinking I'd have nice big eyes. Well, it didn't look like a Minion with them on there, so I took them back off and got 1/4 inch, and that's better. And I will take 1/8 inch punch and punch it in black for the pupils of the eyes. And I just realized I was talking while I was doing the body. It is 4 inches long, and it might have made it too long because he's not going to fit where I had planned. But I will be able to move him and still use him. But it's 4 inches long, and I took that 2-inch punch and I cut the sides of it, the width, 1 7/8 inch. That way it fit better in that 2-inch circle and round the top off. However, looking at the ones on the internet, the body on the bottom is more squarish rounded. So I use my 1/2 inch corner rounder. I cut the mouth with I think it was a 1-inch punch. What color was it? I think it was 1-inch punch. And then I cut again so I could get the moon shape. And then I used my scallop punch. I do have one with a bigger scallop, and I started to get it, and then I remembered I needed smaller teeth for that little mouth. So I got the smaller one out. And I used the 1-inch punch to make the curve with it. I put 3 teeth on there, thinking, I looked at it, it looked like 3 was fine. However, it is not, so I added one more. Looking at it now, I think I could have added one on each side more, but I think he looks cute the way he is. And I've got his mouth, well, I'm going to have his mouth to the side of his face a little bit, make him look a little bit quirky. I used an old whale punch to punch the bib out, and then I'm just going to kind of use my trimmer and scissors and make the rest of his coveralls. I was trying to decide exactly where I wanted to put him. He does not really have shoulders, but I went ahead and put the bib all the way down to the bottom. I think it's over it a little bit. I think when I cut it, I cut that part off too. And I'm not sure what I'm doing now. I will have to watch myself. Oh, it's the pocket. They all have pocket. Well, no, they don't. I did notice a couple that didn't. But this one's going to have pockets. And I'm putting white stitching. And I had a plan to take like some rusty hinge and kind of go over the top of the white to make it more the color of the thread on denim. But I like the white because it shows up pretty good. I am just taking that piece of blue and I'm just going to go across there, and then I'm going to adjust with my scissors. And here I'm cutting the excess off. I am going to make a double stitch across the top of that. I don't know why, but I am making it. I thought, I think I'll put two. I think I kind of remember that on overhaul somewhere, but maybe I didn't. Maybe I made it up. I was trying to decide how long I wanted these legs, and then I thought, well, I want them the same width, so I better cut it longwise and cut them off and make the length of them. And so they look a little bit long there, but really, by the time I get these boots on there and get them adjusted and everything, they're short like they're supposed to be. They're short and skinny, and his arms are skinny too. And I tried to cut about the same width as the legs, and they're just going to go up in the air like, ta-da! Because, oh, and he's going to have a rock in one of them. My subtitle's going to have, let's see, what is it? My layout's here somewhere. Well, I better tell you about this first. I just folded a piece of cardstock over and hand cut with the scissors. I do better with scissors than I do with a pencil, because when I go do it with a pencil and then cut it out, I'm cutting inside and outside that line, getting it the way I want it. But it seems I do much better using the scissors to start with. Anyway, I'm just putting mittens on his hands. The real Minions have 3 fingers, but I decided to put mittens instead. They are black though. They have gloves on and they have boots on. Well, I might have imagined the boots. Oh, here I'm cutting the hair. I cut first a half circle, and then I'm going along the edge of that and making sure one end's pointed and one end is over there at the edge. And I did 6. His little Minion on his shirt has the hair looking kind of like this. And I'm rounding the fatter end. Instead of making it straight across and kind of pointy on the edges, I'm rounding it so when I put it on his head, it'll look kind of like it's growing out of his head. Or at least that's my thought while doing it. Now, since I have made Minions before with punch art, and several actually, and I thought, this won't be no big deal. I don't have to make a practice one. Well, since it's been a couple of years or more since I made one, I think I should have made a practice one. I was trying different things to get it right. But see, I was going to put him there on the left. That was my whole plan. And I had a banner. Well, it wasn't a banner yet, a piece of pattern paper. And I was going to put it and then put that wheel behind him. And I thought, man, then I'll have to cut it in half. And I worked so hard backing it. I thought, I need to put it somewhere where more than half will show. So I'm moving him over to the right. And even though I'm still going to use the banner and that arrow that says dream, it's going to come off the page because I decided it's not going to look good. This grass was a scrap left over from some other layout and was in my scraps. So I thought I'd put it behind the little guy. And in a minute, I will think about his rock that needs to go in his hand. But at the moment, I forgot about it. I was going to put some bugs and some branches and stuff in that little jar, but it's not going to make it on the layout either. I had a lot of stuff in that tray that I wanted to put on here, but nope, they're not going to make it on there. My title is Look What I Found, and then my subtitle, it's going to be with the memory box letters. Oh, I came to a halt with my subtitle. I forgot to put the highlights on my little guy, and I thought if I don't do it while I'm thinking of it, I won't remember to do it till the layout's done and maybe the video too. So I'm just scribbling them on there. I can't think of any other word for it. Doodling, that's the word. I am doodling them on there. And, oh, here's the rock. So yeah, my subtitle's going to the side for the moment, but I'm just hand cutting it around and then putting a few wrinkles in it, and I inked it a tiny bit and putting it in his hand. And somehow or another, when I was putting the subtitle down, it came off, and I noticed it on the back of my hand when I got the subtitle done, and I had to put it back on there. I found both of these scraps of arrows in all my fussy cut stuff. I don't even remember what layout I didn't use them on, but when I was putting adhesive on that one that I'm putting up there on the top, I tore it, but you can't tell it by the time I get it up there though. I wanted that blue on there really bad to go with the blue in Malachi shorts, and of course the blue that's in the coveralls too, overalls. And so I added that tag and an enamel dot. And when I was pulling the enamel dots out, I remembered I forgot to put the buttons on his overalls. So I added 2 to the little guy. I think I must at one time fussy cut out a whole sheet of butterflies, so I had plenty to choose from. So I'm going to add 3 to my layout. That first one I glued on there, I'm going to change my mind about it when I see the other one that I pulled from the tray and switch them out and put the other one up there where the arrows are. But while I'm doing all this, I want to mention that down there below you'll find the links to everybody that is doing the hop to help Kathy celebrate. And it's been really awesome because she got 2,000 subscribers. So make sure you go check her out, congratulate her, and check out all the other videos too. Lots of inspiration down there because it is also a Punched Out Thursday to die for. And all of us that's on, I think there's only 4 of us on the team now for Punched Out Thursday to die for. So check them out and see what they did with their dies and punches. And yeah, I think I'm about done. I think this is it. I'm adding the last flower, 3 flowers I added. And yeah, that's my little guy, and that's the last of my layout. But oh, I never did say what subtitle was. It says To Rocking Amateur Geologists. Now, I thought about 2 awesome, 2 fantastic, and then all of a sudden it hit me rocking because, you know, they're collecting rocks. So I was talking about both of them, the Minion and Malachi. But you can see him on his shirt and all the teeth and the smile of the Minion on there, so I had to make sure mine had teeth too. Yeah, at the moment we were sitting on the narrow part of the deck so we could watch the kids right in front of us. If they're playing on the deck, we're over there on the other side because it's got more shade. But, and it's big too. But there's my little cluster. Did I miss the other one? Was I talking when I showed the little guy? But yeah, that's the last cluster. But I want to thank you all so very, very much for watching. And don't forget about the links down there below. Be sure to check them out. And there's my completed layout with my 2 little guys there. But I hope you all have a happy, scrappy week. Have fun on the hops. Bye.